Well, what was your father's name?
My father's name, first name,
Well, yeah.
was Fritz, F-R-I-T-Z.
Yeah, that's a German name, yeah. Well, I want to know more about your father, but what about the woman he married? What was her name?
Her name was Anna.
Okay, your mother, yeah.
Yeah, my mother was Anna.
And what was her background?
Well, she came from a Latvian, pure Latvian family.
I want to maybe ask you more about what they were like, but let's... Well, I mean, we could start with that. I'm interested also in your childhood. What were your parents like?
Ah, well, that's a difficult question.
Right, okay.
No, they were, I'm talking from my personal feelings, they were very nice, good people. My mother was pure Latvian, and so were also some of the relatives on both sides, which were scattered in some places.
Right. And then how many siblings did you have? Like brothers or sisters?
2 sisters.
Okay.
Both younger.
Okay. That's it?
That's it.
You only had 2 siblings?
Yeah.
I thought you had more.
No.
Really?
No, only...
Okay.
I was the
Right.
oldest and 4 years younger. Next sister, another 5 years younger.
Okay.
The youngest sister.
Okay, okay. So tell me about your childhood when you were a boy. Describe the place where you grew up. Describe
Well,
that area.
I grew up in a place my father owned, which was a water-driven mill to process
Flour.
flour.
Yeah.
To make flour out of rye or wheat and
Right. Did he build the mill or did he inherit it?
No, that mill he had acquired
Okay.
when he was younger.
Okay.
And it processed, as I mentioned, corn and rye and produced flour.
Who built the mill though? Like someone in his family?
No.
He bought it from someone else?
He had, in his younger days.
He did buy it.
Of course.
He bought it.
He had, he bought and he had rebuilt certain parts, improved,
interesting.
and added sections that he had done, but it was not started by him.
You had a relatively small family, just 3 kids.
Yeah. Well,
some kids didn't survive back then.
Well, my father had a rather large family. He had sisters and aunts, but they lived in different parts.
Right.
Of Latvia.
So your father had the water wheel to make flour, and then what else did he have?
Well, also a small farm, like farmers, to grow various products, and father's mill worked on those products.
His mill processed the grain which he grew.
Yeah.
But what? So he was growing rye and wheat.
Also, practically all types of
grains.
Yeah, all types.
Well, there's a lot of types of grain. He couldn't be growing all of them.
Well, he was...
There's hundreds.
Oh, no. There were mainly the white...
like for making bread?
Yeah.
Well, there's rye, oats, wheat, millet.
Yeah, well, they were all... Whatever the farmers all around there were farming country. They grew all these types, and they were processed.
So it was fertile land. It was good land.
Yeah.
Flat? Was the land flat?
Yeah, basically yes.
Okay.
There were, in the whole country, there were, in a couple of places, there were some mountains, but
Right.
low mountains.
Yeah, Latvia doesn't have many
no,
mountains. Yeah. How big was this farm? I guess that's a difficult question for you to answer.
No.
Like how would you in hectares or in square kilometers or in hectares?
In hectares. Well, his farm was on the small side. How many hectares? I would guess around 30 or something.
Yeah, that's not too big.
No.
Yeah.
No. And of course, in Latvia, every farmer grows also all the roots around the house, you know.
When you say roots, you mean like potatoes?
Yeah, potatoes, but even smaller, like what you use in your meals.
Like carrots?
Like carrots and that type.
Vegetables? Too?
Yeah,
Okay.
all sorts of vegetables that people eat.
Right, okay. Probably potatoes and carrots.
Oh yeah.
And maybe some other ones.
Beet and
yeah.
And peas and
okay.
You know, practically all the farmers grow everything of it. Yeah, in smaller countries around the house. And further out where there's big fields, then there's rye or oat or whatever.
Oh, you grew oats too?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's another one. That's another grain. Like oats for like, did you make oatmeal out of it? Did you eat?
Yeah.
Like you boil the oats and then you...
And mostly for farm animals.
Oh, right, yeah, for the animals. Yeah, of course. That's another thing we haven't talked about. Your father had some animals.
We had basically one horse which was used for driving around, driving to town.
Okay.
Which also was used to work fields. I don't remember all the names.
To drive the plow. To
plow the fields.
Right.
What was the question?
The animals you had.
Oh, and the animals were of course a horse.
Yeah, you mentioned the horse,
One horse. Usually farms had 2, 3, 4 horses, you know.
Yeah.
Some applications required 2 horses to pull.
It was a small farm. It was only 30 hectares.
Yeah.
So you didn't really need more than 1 horse. Well, I don't know.
That's right.
So what
that horse was also used when you were driving to town or the next village.
When you say driving to town, do you mean like going in a carriage? In a wagon?
Yeah.
Okay, so not riding on top of the horse, but like riding in a wagon.
No.
Right.
You were riding in, what's the name? I forget. Carriage.
Yeah, like a carriage.
In a carriage.
Does the carriage have a roof or was it open?
No roof, open.
Yeah, okay.
Open, because you carried also all sorts of equipment or stuff piled up or whatever.
So what other animals did you have then, besides the horse?
We had 3 or 4 cows, and then there were sheep.
How many sheep?
Not too many. And pigs, of course. Pigs were part of your food.
Right. What about chickens?
Oh yeah. Chicken, of course, plenty.
Plenty of chickens. Like 30 chickens?
No, not that many, but...
10?
Yeah.
Okay. For the eggs, mostly?
For the eggs,
yeah. Sometimes for the meat, but mostly for the eggs.
Oh yeah.
Probably you had some dogs or cats?
Definitely a dog was there,
Yeah. To scare away predators.
And then, as I said, there were 3 or 4...
3 or 4 cows. Cows for milk?
For milk.
Right, yeah.
Milk and butter.
Yeah, because you can't be eating the cows if you only have 3 or 4 of them. Not very often, right?
There was no schedule normally. The cows were mainly kept for milk and butter.
Right, of course, yeah.
And then when they get older, then of course
Right, okay.
They were slaughtered
Yeah.
and meat was eaten.
Right, yeah, that'd be a lot of meat.
Yeah. Well, the meat was
Barbecued or roasted over
roasted.
the fire, yeah. So it seems like your father's farm was in many ways self-sufficient, like it could your family could produce its own food basically.
Oh yeah, that was about all. We didn't produce for selling or so on.
Oh, you didn't? No. That's nice, yeah.
It was smaller. My father's income was mostly the mill.
And then he would sell the flour in town?
No. People would bring their own.
And they would pay him to grind it.
That's
okay.
right.
Okay.
That's
I see. And I don't know what the money was like back then, but how profitable was that? Like how much money could he make from that?
Oh well, I couldn't tell you
Yeah.
now. Was enough, or let's say so, that the life was a little bit better
Right.
than the farmer which was growing it.
But your father had a relatively small farm.
A small farm.
If he had a bigger farm, then maybe life would be even easier.
Yeah.
Or not, because then you have to work more land. I don't know. What about fruits? Did you have any like orchard for apples or anything like that?
Yeah, every farm had bigger or smaller. We didn't have a big, but we had a few apple trees, and in the garden there were some bushes for the
berries.
Berries.
Right. What kind of berries?
Well, the
red currants, raspberries, strawberries.
Yeah, well, all of them.
Blueberries? There's no blueberries.
Blueberries. That was a berry growing in the forest. So.
Oh, okay. You had the red ones, like strawberries or raspberries.
Oh,
yeah.
Definitely those.
Did your family made preservatives? Like
made in every family in the country that was natural who produced all their supplies for jams and for the whole year until next crop and so on.
So then you needed to get sugar for that.
Yeah, well, you went to a store and bought.
Right. So the sugar, you can't produce your own sugar. That's something you have to buy. Yeah.
Well, not at the farm level, no.
Well, yeah, you have to buy the sugar in town, of course.
I guess
It has to be imported to Latvia, unless Latvia was using sugar beets, which those do exist. And you mentioned beets.
Sugar beets were produced by big farms.
Right. Yeah, it would have to be specialized.
There were a couple of factories. Which produced sugar.
Okay. What sorts of stuff did your father rely on? What did he have to get from other people? Did he have to rely on carpenters to build his house, or what about you have to get your clothing. You didn't make your own clothing.
Well, some.
Oh yeah?
Oh yeah, because the farmers had
like a spinning wheel?
What's the name of the
that's a good question. I don't actually know. Well, the wool from the sheep.
The wool.
This is made of wool.
Yeah, that's right. Some kind was made right at the home, but not the kind from which clothes is made. That was made by big farms and factories.
Right, but you said your family made some clothing, no? What kind of clothing? A blanket?
Blankets definitely were made. There was a special setup.
How big was the nearest town?
Well, the nearest town was a couple of towns were around 30 kilometers.
Oh yeah, that's pretty far.
Another one was the same that way.
Yeah, so not really very, not that's pretty far.
Yeah, well, but they went into town by driving a horse.
The horse would go 30 kilometers?
And a carriage behind. I've ridden many times because high school was 30 in town, 30 kilometers away.
Right, yeah.
And of course not every day you stayed there, but you came home and went back in a horse-driven carriage.
Well, how long did you stay at school for? Like a week or months?
Oh,
it was a boarding school.
Oh, well, all the season. You came.
Okay, right,
Came home for Christmas and went back and.
So who would take you in the horse then? Like your father or?
Father or mother.
Okay, and then
drive horse and carriage would drive 30 kilometers.
In one day?
Oh yeah.
And then would they take the horse back the same day?
The same day, driving to.
That would be one tired horse.
To 30 kilometers away. Well, it took 4 to 5 hours to ride.
Oh yeah. Wow.
Into horse.
Okay, right.
And 4 or 5 hours to come back again.
What was the quality of the road? Was it just a dirt road? Was there any gravel on the road or like?
Gravel road.
Was it like a difficult road?
No, it was.
It was an old road, like used for a long time.
Yeah. Oh, for permanently, you know.
You need to get someone to put horseshoes on your horse. You know the horseshoe?
Oh yeah. There were specialists. There was one close by to where I lived.
When you say close by, like 1 kilometer away?
Oh, no. There was one place about 25 meters away.
Oh, okay. So a horse could really drive a carriage all the way to town, 30 kilometers.
Yeah.
And then go back the same day, another 30 kilometers?
Yeah.
But you said it was 4 or 5 hours to get to town, so that's like 10 hours.
Oh, yeah. It took full day.
But wouldn't the horse be so tired?
No, it doesn't drive. You drive into town, you put the horse in a special places, you know, where they feed the horse and
you gotta feed it.
And you leave your carriage there and do your business, whatever you have to, and then let's say 4 hours later you do it backwards.
Yeah, but that doesn't make sense because then you'd have to leave really early in the morning. Like let's say you leave 5 in the morning, so you get to town at 10 a.m.
Oh, maybe at 11.
Okay, 11 you arrive.
Then you arrive. Then you go to the market or go to stores or whatever.
Right. Okay.
Spend 3-4 hours then in the afternoon you come back.
So let's say you arrive 11 in the morning. You leave 3 hours later. Well, let's just say, for example. So then that's another 5 hours or even 6 hours.
Yeah.
So you're going to get home like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You're going to get home like 7 or 8 p.m. at night. And that horse has been driving the carriage for at least 10 hours. Maybe 11 hours.
No. There is a special place in town where you...
you feed it
remove the horse from the carriage and it's being fed and food and water, whatever.
Right, so it regains some energy.
Right, you start driving back 4 or 5 hours later you are home.
Yeah, no, I agree that you could go home. I've never grown up around horses, so
I know.
I'm just amazed that a horse can like use all that energy in one day.
Oh yeah. See,
it could travel. So you're saying a horse could travel like 60 kilometers in one day, 30 kilometers there, 30 kilometers back.
Oh yeah.
That's impressive.
Normal.
Yeah.
Every horse.
And it's pulling a carriage with like people on it and like stuff on it. That's incredible.
They are sometimes, you know, mostly is one horse ahead of a carriage, maybe a couple of people sitting in there. There are also two-horse carriages, yeah.
Right. It's not going to go any faster, though.
No, no, no.
What was the name of the town where your family would go to normally?
Well, there were two towns. I know both of them because there was part of school and high school was in the other one. One name is Saldus.
Oh, okay. I've been to Saldus, yeah.
Saldus, another name is Kuldiga.
When you were a child, how many people lived in Saldus? Like a few thousand? It's not a very big town even today.
It's about the same as well as Kuldiga. I don't know.
Right, yeah.
There were maybe Saldus, maybe 4,000 or something. Kuldiga is a bit bigger.
It may be a bit bigger today, I don't know.
No, they stay about the same size.
Yeah.
The country is split up into areas. Each area would have a town.
A capital town.
The capital of that area.
Yeah. So Saldus was a capital?
No, Kuldiga was.
Kuldiga, okay, okay. Did your father ever have to go to Kuldiga for political reasons?
More often, he went to Saldus for business reason because he had a store in the country.
In Saldus he had a store?
No, in the country where we lived.
What kind of a store? What do you mean? He had a mill?
Yeah, a mill.
And then also a store?
And also a store. Like everyday items.
Like a convenience store?
A convenience store, everyday items.
What would be an everyday item back then? I don't know.
Well, for instance, we didn't have electricity, but petroleum.
Okay, like kerosene or
yeah, well,
petroleum for making a lamp, for an oil lamp.
Yeah, the liquid.
Yeah, the liquid.
Which burn, yeah.
What was the petroleum used for back then? I'm trying to get in. I mean.
Well. Mainly for lighting. For lamps and.
Okay. Fritz was a bit of a businessman.
Well, that's it, because he went to Saldus once every 2 weeks to get supplies.
Right. Okay. Okay.
Bring it back and
to sell to local farmers. Yeah. Okay. But then, did he ever have to go to Kuldiga to vote, or I don't know what the political system was like in Latvia back then?
What was
like? Did he ever have to vote, like VOTE, in like an election or something like that?
Oh, to vote?
Yeah.
Well, elections were when a new government was elected or something.
Right.
3-4 years or.
So when that happened, did your father have to go to Kuldiga to?
No.
No.
The local township or what?
Township, like a group of men representing your.
No, it was like you know, a certain area, maybe 20-50 kilometers around. These areas are named either by the biggest town in that area or some other name, you know.
So he voted in the local area?
Yeah.
I don't want to get this into politics because that would be a whole other subject, and that's a difficult subject. But maybe you could conclude by telling us a bit about your childhood, growing up. What sorts of activities did you like to do when you were a boy?
Well, I think that I was very lucky as a small boy. Small boy means from 8 to, well, around 8, 10 or 12 years, while you are going in the ground school.
You mean junior school?
Junior. Like I was lucky in the way because I had the flour mill. There was like a little lake in front, and there was a river flowing through.
Yeah, of course, to run the mill, to run the water wheel.
To run the water mill.
How wide was the stream? Like how many feet?
Oh, In places it split like around the mill. There was a big pond, maybe a couple of 100 meters or wide or what.
Right.
And then the dam and the mill, and now the river continues, yeah?
Yeah.
Small river, and that river had a few fish. From a boy's point of view, it was more important. There were crabs.
When you say crabs, you mean crayfish.
Crayfish.
Yeah, crayfish, like little miniature lobsters, kind of. Yeah.
No, crayfish, you know,
Yeah.
which had two in front,
Yeah.
these two big ones.
Pincers, yeah.
And some smaller at the tail end. And of course, they were loved because they were tasty.
Right. So you would.
So
yeah.
I was very good at catching them.
Okay. How did you catch them?
With my hands. There were lots of stones also scattered, and around or underneath the stones they used to live.
Oh, okay, interesting.
I was a master of catching them.
You boil them.
You boil them, and
Right, yeah.
they're tasty.
Like, do you eat them with anything?
No.
Just on their own?
No, that's right.
But you have to take the shell off.
Only salt
Okay, yeah.
is needed.
But you have to remove the shell?
That's right, you remove the shell,
right, yeah.
the two big legs,
Yeah.
and then smaller legs, and the tail.
Right, yeah.
The two legs and the tail are where most of the meat is.
Right, okay, yeah. Yeah, that sounds like fun.
It was fun. I spent hours catching them. And what's more, sometimes I did the catching at late evening or night.
Okay.
When it's dark.
Yeah.
And in darkness they come out from under stones.
Oh yeah.
From out of their holes or what.
Yeah.
And I have a light here.
Right.
And shorts on, going there, and grabbing them.
Right. Okay. Like when you're saying a light, like a lantern with a candle. Like an oil?
Like, or whatever, make a piece of wood and like a torch.
Okay. You also went fishing for regular fish?
Yeah, but not too much.